made circus, you made all of these other very very strong uh, comments on how society was around us, and it was something that you could take for granted. But what else did you remember? You remember which is so special about Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro?
You know, one is that if you see, Kundan had worked with me in Albert Window as a chief assistant from there onwards. The time is late 70s, early 80s, and we are supposed to be a democratic country and we are allowed to do stuff. By and large, there are a few, censor problems with some films, of course there is, but never anything major. And we were allowed to function. Now, once in a while you did get, say, a documentary going through immense trouble, like a film by Anand Patwardhan and this film getting into some kind of trouble. But by and large, they were manageable, and it's only later that you realize that there were times that were happening, that there were gaps in between where it became tougher or less tough. And those gaps were very, if you see them actually historically, perhaps a regime change has occurred, and who's in power now? Not to say that everything was incredibly democratic under, say, a communist regime. No way. They had their restrictions, they had their codes of conduct, they had their censor board, and we adhered by and large to them. But it was much freer. And you could say things that you wanted to say with, I suppose, relative caution. But you could say what you wanted to say. Today, today it's not possible at all. It's just tough.
Right.
And one of my young filmmakers, I just wonder that, the documentary, what are we going to be doing here?
So you were mentioning Kashmir, Shubhra was mentioning Kashmir, and you talk about the exodus of the Pandits and the situation that the ordinary Kashmiris find themselves in. And you also talk about a film which has recently been in news, the Kashmir Files, and the IFI jury, called it propaganda and vulgar. So what were you have stayed in Kashmir, and then you see this film. So what were you? Do you agree with that? That looks kind of propaganda.
You can't. The chairman of the jury, he said what he had to say. You can have a debate with him. You can have a debate with him. To me personally, if you see it from like Kashmir Files, it's garbage. Is the Kashmiri Pandit issue knowledge? No, it's not. It's real. Real people. Now, he's corrected. Is it just Kashmir? Also most important, I would assume that would be true. Caught in an incredibly vulgar trap of the machinations of intelligence agencies, nations with their so-called national interests, paid guy from across the border coming to create more havoc within a given situation. Everybody will be अपना हाथ धो रहे, सब लोग धो रहे अपने हाथ. फिर कौन रहा है बीच में? Decide what you want to do. You've got to decide. And the thing is not things are taking sides for us. Sit and be human to try to understand.
So why do you think filmmakers are not, PhD, FTII youngsters, why are they not trying to interpret this scenario through filmmaking anymore?
They'll be sent to jail. Simple. Sedition.
Trying to understand the social scenario?
Yeah. You'll be sent to jail. This is the truth. This is the truth, and I'm not. It's got nothing to do with regimes in power, not interested. This is the truth. You try speaking your mind. It's time. Stand up and say, enough. Do you know? You heard of the McCarthy revelations in
Absolutely.
You know that in America,
Yeah.
when one person at the hearing said, one old man said, turned to McCarthy and said, aren't you ashamed of yourself? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? And people stopped. The hearing stopped. One old man stood up at the hearing and told Mr. McCarthy, aren't you ashamed of yourself? That's it. A long way beyond that.
What do you think? What kind of stories, what kind of art will be produced by the kind of stories, films, literature that children will be hearing today? Whether Hindu, whether Muslim, there's a new kind of story that's going on.
Oh yeah, of course, a new narrative. And one doesn't quite know what's being whispered through in gullies and formulas. And you know, there are a lot of things in Khaswas. Oh, right. And the art of the rumor and in the dark is very frightening. It is happening. And it's done despite our constitution. It's happening. I don't think it is the epitaph of the constitution.
Yeah.
I said that. End of poetry. It's the end of poetry because I sometimes believe that the constitution was a leap of faith. It was an aspiration as opposed to reality. You know, it was an idea that what we want to be as a people, and we proclaimed it to ourselves and to the world. We proclaimed it to ourselves, but were we like that?
In your book, you talk about Bombay being a city of dreams and dissenters, isn't it? And that is something that sort of gets into the arts and gets into the films. So where do you think we are at right now?
Right now, I think we're on the road on identity, like we're on the road to patriotism and majoritarianism. Fundamentally, we want to be patriots and we want to assert our identity. And in that, there's a journey of cinema simultaneously, not just in politics, it's also in the realm of art. You can see it being manifested.
The iconic scene of Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro, the Mahabharat scene. How much of it was written and how much was it improvised? How did it come about?
It is pure chaos. It is pure chaos. I used to go in the nights of the corpse, in the coffin, etc. I was there for those shoots, etc. In the other shoots, so it is pure chaos. But in a way, if the idea is there and you have approximately 60% worked out in your head, 40% is improvised, then let the actors do it and they can do it, you know. Provide your cameraman and sound recorders know exactly what's happening because they can show that he was supposed to be saying this and they don't stop shooting. It's fine. Tires, a roll of Anupam Kher was edited up.
Anupam Kher was in
The film. He was called something shooter. He's a guy who's a mark. He's a
marksman.
marksman. He's a killer.
Okay.
He's a hired killer who is a marksman, and he's going hired to kill these guys. He's kill these two fellows. He's hired
Who is he hired?
by one of the villains, by one of the bad guys. One of the bad guys hires this guy. He's supposed to. What he does, he keeps firing, and he also wears glasses. He shoots first, then draws a target after the. Then he's a bad marksman. But the thing is, it's all there. Madness.
That could
It's
never happen.
so
It can never
critical.
happen.
It's so critical. And I borrowed some of the madness after that in Mohan Joshi Hazare.